and gentlemen, make some noise for the worst pay-per-view card of the year, UFC 240. It's dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. We're going to break it down anyway. We're going to go through the entire fight card, early prelims till the main event, giving you my predictions on every fucking fight. Get ready to roast me after the fight when I'm wrong. Okay? Tanner Boser versus Giacomo Lemos. Heard of him? No, I haven't either. But Giacomo Lemos is 5-0. Tanner Boser is 16-5. Neither of them have any fucking pictures to go with them on Google. I'm going with Giacomo Lemos. Eric Koch versus Kyle Stewart. I'm not actually gonna... Eric Koch, he's been in the UFC for a while, however... this is a rough one to call, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to get these right as well. I feel like I'm going to go with Eric Koch here. I really do. No. I'm going with Kyle Stewart. Eric Koch lost to Clay Guida. And Clay Guida's 50 years old. So that just... Yeah, I'm going with Kyle Stewart. Moving on! I've lost my page. Fuck. Give me a second. I lost where I was. Moving on, early prelims. Gillian Robertson versus Sarah Frota. Sarah Frota, 9-1. Gillian Robertson, red hair. That's why she's in the UFC. She dyed her hair to get into the UFC. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with Gillian Robertson. Red hair. Amazing performance from her. That's all you need to get into the UFC. Dye your hair as a woman, have big tits, and they'll sign you up regardless of your fucking... You only win fucking double the fights you lose. So it doesn't even fucking matter. I'm done. Anyway, Gavin Tucker versus Choi Seung-woo. I'm going with Gavin Tucker. I like Gavin Tucker, and I think he's going to get the job done. But Choi Seung-woo, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. I'm actually torn on a lot of these decisions. But I'm going to go with Choi Seung-woo. I've completely changed my mind yet again. It's a regular occurrence on this channel, so you better fucking get used to it. Choi Seung-woo's going to get the job done. Hakeem Dawodu versus Yushinori Horii. Asian time on this card. Hakeem Dawodu gets the job done. Mean Hakeem Dawodu is a great fighter. He had some rough times in his UFC debut. He kind of got out-wrestled and submitted. But since then, he's been doing very well. Had a good, dominant decision over Karl Bochniak that he won. That was quite clear-cut in my opinion. And Karl Bochniak's the guy that fucking gave Zabit quite a few problems. So, Hakeem Dawodu, in my opinion, is a very good fighter. He's beat some decent guys. I'm going with Mean Hakeem Dawodu. He's got a good team behind him as well. Alex Davis versus Vivian Araujo. I'm going with Vivian Araujo. 7-1. Alexis Davis is 19-9. Move out the fucking UFC, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with Vivian Araujo. I think she's going to get the job done. Moving on to the main card. And this isn't even where it gets interesting. That's the fucking shame about this card. That's how disappointed I am. Normally, when it gets to the prelims of a pay-per-view, I say, and now where it gets interesting. It's got to the main card, and it's not even got in. I haven't even been able to say now it gets interesting. Okay? Marc-Andre Barriault versus Krzysztof Jotko. I'm going with Krzysztof Jotko. I actually think he's a very good fighter. I really do. I think he's fallen on some hard times. You know, not everyone's born with an iron chin. And I think he's going to get the job done against Marc-Andre. I don't know, though, because Krzysztof Jotko is a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. I'm not saying he's not. But I am going to go with Krzysztof Jotko. I think he's had the experience in the UFC. In his last fight, he showed his dominance through wrestling. Marc-Andre Barriault, great fighter, fighting in his hometown. I'm going against him here. I think that Krzysztof Jotko is going to get the job done, and I think he probably will get it done by finish as well. Krzysztof Jotko. Now it gets kind of interesting, okay? On the fucking next fight in the main fucking card of a pay-per-view that they want you to pay how many fucking dollars for. Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Arman Tsarukyan. I'm going with Arman Tsarukyan. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Aubin-Mercier. I think he's going to be able to out-strike Aubin-Mercier. I've seen guys out-wrestle Aubin-Mercier. I've seen Alexander Hernandez handle him in a wrestling department. And when your game is to submit people, you kind of need to get him to the ground. And if Islam Makhachev, spawn of Khabib, can't get you to the ground like he couldn't with Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan on his UFC debut on short notice gave fucking Islam Makhachev all he can fucking handle. Like, if Arman Tsarukyan scrambled where he should have fucking slid out, like, if he did one thing different in one of those rounds, it could have gone to him and the fight could have gone to him. I thought it was 2-1 on rounds to Islam Makhachev, and Makhachev's been dominating, guys. So it shows you how good Arman Tsarukyan is. The Armenian savage. I'm going with Arman Tsarukyan here. Olivier Mercier, the experience, he's got everything going for him. Hometown, this, that, fucking momentum, not really. But Arman Tsarukyan's a savage. I think he's going to dominate all parts of this fight. I actually think he's going to get a finish here as well. I think he's going to finish Olivier Mercier in the 3rd round. Arman Tsarukyan on short notice against Islam Makhachev. I saw he had a great gas tank, even on short notice. It wasn't that short of notice, but it wasn't a full training camp, is what I'm trying to say. And, yeah, Olivier Mercier slows in that 3rd round. You can't be doing that shit against Arman. You got to keep that pressure on, because otherwise he's going to break you. Arman gets the job done in the 3rd round. Geoff Neal. Jeff Neal versus Nico Price. Now it gets interesting. Kind of. Okay? Jeff Neal versus Nico Price. Nico Price, I like you, man. You got a weird style. You're a weird fucking person. I like watching you fight. You're always entertaining. I'm going against you here. Jeff Neal, the real deal Neal, is going to decapitate you. Okay, I think he's going to get the job done. However, I worry for Jeff Neal. I know an incel chin when I see one. Okay? And Jeff Neal has it. I'm looking at his picture right now, boys. 11-2. He just coming off a win over Frank Carmouche, by the way. Brutal head kick knockout. I think he's going to do the same thing to Nico Price. I think there are some guys that are too technical to brawl with. You know, this ain't a Tim Means fight. And by the way, Tim Means piecing up Nico Price before Nico Price does what he always does and finds that finish out of nowhere. You know, Randy Brown doing very well against Nico Price. Nico Price, hammer fist from bottom. Gets the finish. He just does it. He's just finishing, guys. He's the hybrid for a reason. He mixes things up better than anyone. But Jeff Neal, there's certain guys you just can't trick into a brawl. Carmouche tried... I'm thinking of the right guy, right? Carmouche sounds like a female fighter right now. No, I am right. Frank Camacho. Fuck. Such a similar name. After that, Jeff Neal beat Bilal Muhammad unanimously. Bilal Muhammad is as well-rounded as it goes. He's a very good fighter. Obviously, he had some losses in the UFC. Camacho tried to bait Jeff Neal into a brawl, which I think is what Nico Price wants to do. And Jeff Neal was having none of it. Stuck to his game plan, listened to his coaches, managed to get the finish. I think it's going to be a similar thing here. I think we're going to see some entertaining rounds in the 1st round. And in the 2nd round, I think Jeff Neal's going to pick him apart and maybe find the finish. Nico Price, I've seen him flatline before by Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So, you know, Nico Price's nightmare fighters at the moment seem to be black people. They seem to flatten him with vicious power. And maybe, like, in some part of the cage, Nico Price is going to be looking across from Jeff Neal and, you know, that face is going to change into Razak Al Hassan's and then he's going to fucking shit himself and get knocked out. Who knows? I'm going with Jeff Neal. Chris Cyborg versus Felicia Spencer. There's a part of me... I told you guys about this before when I dissect my brain. Okay? There's a part of my brain I like to call the tisms. Okay? There's a couple collective cells up here that are known as the tisms. The autistic parts of my brain make me want to say Felicia Spencer because I know that Chris Cyborg is overrated because there's no female fighters of any talent in MMA that she has had to take on other than Amanda Nunes and maybe Holly Holm, who was fighting out of her weight class. But Amanda Nunes, and look what happened. I want to say Felicia Spencer. I'm not going to. I think Cyborg's going to get the job done, but don't be surprised. Okay? I'm telling you now, I think Cyborg's going to win, and I'm putting my prediction down right now. I'm not playing a 50-50 here. I'm putting my prediction down. Cyborg gets it done by TKO in the 2nd round, but I'm telling you, be careful of Felicia Spencer. Be careful. Be very careful. Okay, because if Felicia Spencer gets you to the ground, she's got a dominating top position, she's got a bit of belly fat, she might fucking Roy Nelson you on top, just completely smother you, get a submission. I think Cyborg's going to win because I have to go off my usual rule of female fights of who's more manly. You know, Cyborg... arguably isn't even female. So I'm going to go with her. But don't be surprised, guys. I tell you, if Felicia Spencer's a huge underdog, maybe stick some money on it. It's worth the chance. It's worth the chance. She's a very good fighter. And she got the job done against Megan Anderson. She could get it done against Chris Cyborg. Who the fuck knows? Now, the only interesting fight to me on this card. And it's not even interesting. Holloway versus Edgar. Holloway gets it done. Holloway gets it done. He's blessed, man. He is blessed. If this fight had happened when they were supposed to fight at the first time, I would have maybe given Frankie Edgar more of a chance. But a knockout and 2 years later, and his last impressive win, by the way, was against Cub Swanson, who, by the way, isn't even ranked anymore. If beating Cub Swanson gets you a title shot, then Kron Gracie's next. Fuck Volkanovski. If Holloway gets past Edgar, you best know who's next. Okay? It's Kron Gracie. Know what I'm saying? Max Holloway's going to get the job done, man. I don't know. This is the one style. People say this is the style fucking Max Holloway hasn't fought. Listen, if a fucking flabby 155, like, terrible version of Max Holloway can defend, even though he wasn't that bad. He was just, when Holloway moved up to 155, he didn't build himself up muscle-wise. He kind of just put on 10 pounds of fat to go up to 155. On short notice, he basically just had an easier cut. If Dustin Poirier can't take down Max Holloway at 155, Frankie Edgar, I don't care how good of a wrestler he is, he's not going to be able to do it at 45. And I think Max Holloway's going to piece him up real bad. And we're going to see a rare appearance of a first or second round knockout from Max Holloway. I think he's really started to put in some fucking level with his punches. Really put his foot down and snap him in. I think he's going to get the finish here in the first or second round. Real early. Make it look real easy. And circle him back out. So that if Whittaker versus Adesanya is in Australia, have that as the main event. And have Holloway versus Volkanovski as the co-main event. Quick turnaround. Let's make the most of Holloway while he's young. Know what I'm saying? Holloway gets the job done first or second round. Listen, man. If this was 2 years ago, I probably would have thought different about this. I'd probably be a bit more excited because Holloway, like, Edgar had, like, meaningful wins. Like, Jeremy Stevens is a guy he beat recently. Chad Mendes, he obviously had a close fight with Aldo, as he always does. But right now, man, Ortega knocking you out in the first round. You know, the division, the shape of it's changed. And if Ortega's going to sleep you in the first round, I feel like Holloway's going to do it. If not in the first, then in the second. I don't see it being a fight, man. I really don't see it a fight. I think Holloway may be thrown off by the size of Edgar. A shorter guy. You're going to leave yourself exposed for overhands over the top, reaching down for the face. Ask Anthony Joshua how he feels about it. And I think Holloway's going to get it done. I really do. I'd love to get hyped. This is a fight night. Can we be real? This is a fight night. The fight night UFC on ESPN4 San Antonio is better than this. UFC on ESPN5 Covington versus Lawler is better than this. Fight night 156 Shevchenko. Okay, never mind. Too far. UFC Uruguay. I was going to throw it in the mix as being better than this shit card. But, you know, yeah, it's got three names that you recognise. And fucking Uriah Faber's fucking sister, Liz Carmouche. UFC 241, I'm okay now. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay. You fixed it for me. UFC 241 makes up for it, but this card, Jesus Christ, UFC. You are really testing the star power of Max Holloway, especially coming off a loss. And I think this is a good win to give him a quick layup. A lot of people are going to like put their hat down on a big risk and say Frankie's going to win. I think this is a good fight to get Holloway a quick layup, get his star power back up. He's back on a win streak at featherweight. Or he never left his win streak, but he's back on a win streak in general. He's got a win under his belt. Then you can give him some of these tough fights in Volkanovski. Zabit if he beats one more guy in the top 5. Ortega if he strings two wins together in a row. And guys like that. Know what I'm saying? 45 is very interesting right now. And a lot of times when Holloway beat Aldo, we were kind of... Remember when Holloway beat Aldo and the reaction of the MMA community was, gee, that's a fucking empty division. Who's he going to fight? There's no interest other than Frankie. I mean, who is there? But now you got guys like Volkanovski. You got guys like Ortega still in the mix. You got Zabit making his rise. Josh Emmett's on a bit of a streak right now. You got fucking Calvin Kattar on a streak. Shane Burgos on a streak. The Korean Zombie makes his return. Hiya. Arnold Allen on a fucking 7-win streak in the UFC, undefeated in the UFC, 7-0. 6-0. 6-0. Hit that, like and subscribe. Featherweight's interesting. Fingers crossed Max wins, because he will. So, there's no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind. Max Holloway wins this fight, first or second round. Okay? I'm really sticking my neck out here. He gets it done, no questions asked. Hit that.